And then it's like, hey, I mean, we can do pieces, but I would love to show you all of your set options. And then if you didn't like any of those, we can definitely get pieces at the end. Yeah, so you just want to walk them through like all the pieces, because I mean, put it like this together. Let's say your customer gets like 3 knives, right? She's gonna be spending like $300, right, just for those 3 knives today, as opposed to getting like a studio set where she gets 4 knives, she gets a wood block, she gets a cutting board, and that would only cost $97 today on the 5 pay. Yeah, so it's just like I mean, what do you think is a better deal? Yeah, exactly. Okay, so that's just a Natalia walking through all their options and then showing them sets if they still were interested in sets. Okay, all right, last couple of things I want to go over with you, or really just last thing to start off the presentation. Do you know what you always want your customer to grab before you start the presentation? Pen and paper, and one more thing. What do you want them to grab? I got you. It's you want them to grab like their knife, like what, like yeah. You want them to grab like their favorite straight edge, favorite serrated edge, or favorite steak knife. That way that they can use it and like see their cutlery as we do our presentation. Do that before. Yeah, so you would do that before the video even plays. You just have them, yeah, when you start the presentation, just have them grab it. And by the way, you got the first one right, the paper and pen. Why do you grab the paper and pen?
So they can write down messages and have it visually with them.
Daniela, you're gonna absolutely crush it. We just went over the fundamentals. You got the presentation down. If you're nervous, it's normal, but you're gonna absolutely crush it. We're gonna start with first one. You're gonna have this one. Absolutely. We will talk soon. I got another call here, but crush that one. I'll talk to you soon.
I call you after every demo, right?
Absolutely.
In the appointment.
Okay.
Cool.
Hey, how's it going, Ferris? Good. Sir, okay, so what's the first one here?
Miami Spartans Homemaker Hotline. This is Andrew. Who is this?
Hi, this is Angeli.
Hey, Angeli.
I'm with my lovely customer, Mr. Michaud.
Okay.
He's currently considering the homemaker set, but because he thought the price was too high, he was also considering the Galley Plus 6 set, the all-night set, and the Space Saver set.
Okay. Cool. So you already kind of showed him a couple of the other smaller sets.
Yeah.
Which set did he like the most? We're gonna see if we can. Wait, who's the customer?
Mr. Michaud.
Cool. And is this how do you know?
He's my supervisor.
Okay, perfect. So we'll try to give him the hook up then. I guess what set did he like the most? If we're gonna like hook him up with an awesome deal, which set do you think he was like checking out the most? Is it the galley set or the homemaker or which one?
He likes the homemaker set, but the Galley Plus 6 set also appeals to him.
Cool. Do you think? I mean, based on is he married or?
He's not,
Okay.
but he has a son.
So he has 1 kid. Yeah, my gut would tell me he'd probably be able to just. How often does he cook?
The thing that appealed to him was the fact that he 3 to 4 times a week.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, what do you think? Should we start off? Let's start off with a deal maybe on the homemaker set, and we can see if we can sell that one. If not, we can drop down and show maybe some smaller options. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. So give me 1 second. Let me see what we can do on that. Hey, Adrian, what's the discount on homemaker?
Discount on homemaker is $10.92 to $236.15.
You sure?
Yeah. All right, sorry about that. So yeah, you can kind of cut it halfway.
All right, Angela, you there?
Yeah.
All right, check this out. You're going to get fired up when we give you this one here. So the homemaker set is regularly. Are you in front of him or is he on the virtual?
I'm actually in front of him.
Okay, what's it sound like? So do you have a paper in front of you?
Yes, I do have the paper in front of me.
Perfect. Go ahead and cross off 1326 off your paper.
Okay.
Cool. And now what you're going to go ahead and write this down.
1326 on my paper.
Yep. and then write down 1092.
1092.
Yep. Put a little slash through that and write down 236 and circle that.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Okay. So today we could give him the Homemaker Plus 8 set, which comes with the 7 knives, 2 forks, and a spreader, and the block, 8 table knives. He gets the cutting board and the sharpener with it as well. And instead of being $13.26, we'd be able to hook him up. And I know it's not necessarily like family, but we hook him up with the friends and family discount. So instead of $13.26, it'd only be $10.92, or $2.36 today on the 5K, which is like a I don't know, a night out at Applebee's or a restaurant with his son or daughter, or a small grocery bill there too. Breaks out to about $50 to $60 a week. So run that by him, see if that works a little bit better. And if not, we'll see what we can do from there. Okay.
Okay.
All right, sounds good. Run that by him and see what he thinks, and then just give me a call back. Or actually, since you're in front of him, why don't you just run it by him and see if that's what he wants to go ahead and do. And if not, I'll send the line and we'll go from there. Cool.
You just want to be careful with like doing it for like every single. You definitely don't want to do that.
So a big part about first weekend PDI whenever you give a deal, like I didn't do a lot on that one, but it's really about getting the rep sold on the deal, right? Because if they're like, the reality is no matter how you explain it to them, they're not going to reiterate what you explain to the customer. Like, so a lot of like new people are, yep.
He asked if today is the only day he can make the decision.
Well, unfortunately, since it's called a first call special, which means we're kind of only allowed to place like give him discounts and deals when he places an order on your first visit or your first appointment. Is there any reason that I don't know I would just ask him is there any like thing that he's concerned about or like thing that would want to make him hold off on it?
Okay.
Yeah. You got to get them sold on the deal because a lot of times, you can explain the deal to them, but if they're not going to like sit there and like reiterate all the great things that you just said on the phone to them, like, okay, great. And then they just like blob to the customer.
He said he doesn't want to share the reason.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, we were just asking, we're just trying to help. So usually to answer his original question is that we can usually only we can only give them a discount if they place an order on like your first visit or something like that. So what I would do too is like the reason I was asking is just because we could still, potentially do a deal on one of the smaller starter sets. So if there's something that he's going to feel a little bit more confident or comfortable getting today, we got no problem, dropping down and trying to give him a deal on one of those options too. So, but I would just kind of have some direction. So and for you, Angela, it's always better for like a smaller sale today versus like a promise for a larger order maybe later. So I would just maybe drop down and see how he feels about the Homemaker set, and if he doesn't feel confident pulling the trigger on that, maybe show him the Galley or the Essentials and see if we can give him a deal on one of those. If it feels a little bit more better for him for that today.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. What I was saying but if you get the rep mentally sold on the deal, they will sell the customer, like they don't have to have the right words, the right verbiage, but if they're like, oh shoot, that's a good deal, or they're excited about that, they're like, all right, cool. Their enthusiasm is going to show the customer versus like you gave them the fire on the phone, or like say this to the customer, and they're like, all right, then they don't even know what they're talking about, and then it's just like, they don't know what to say. Can you get Alyssa on this call? Julia?
So do you always think it's a good idea to like ask what you think they're going to sell like before their appointment?
Yeah, when I do that, it's kind of like a mentality audit because the biggest thing, Jacoby, when people are doing their first few appointments,
Mhm.
is their expectations going into the appointment. When people expect to sell, they don't always sell, but they generally sell a lot more when they expect to sell, right? When people don't expect to sell, it's like, even when they're in front of good customers, if they have the mindset where the customers aren't gonna, buy, they don't buy. So, auditing their mentality before they go into it, just to see, hey, where's their head at? And I ask them what they're going to sell, just kind of get a general idea of exactly where their head's at. So, and it goes back to the same thing. Like most PI the first weekend, it's not really sales tips. It's really just manage their mentality and make them, like, encourage them, make them feel good. Because if they're feeling good, they're going to want to continue with the position, right? Like a lot of people, and sometimes it's all different for every person. Some people call in from their first sale and they only sold $300, and they had an expectation of going out and dropping, $1,500, $2,000 their first few appointments out of training. So they're actually pissed, when they make that first day sales, and they need like encouragement, comments like, dude, you're on the right track. Don't worry about it. Some people actually need to like be challenged to be thinking bigger. It's like, wait, no, dude, we're gonna get you the first set sale. Like, let's think a little bit bigger, think more positive. So it's all about just managing their mentality, I think, for the first weekend. And when you ask that question going into the presentation, it helps.
Hello?
Yeah. Hey, Anjali.
He's looking at the all-night set.
Okay.
Is there anything we can do for them there?
Let me see. The all-night set is a tough one to do. Let me see if there's anything we can do. You got a deal on that one, right? The deal, you have the deal sheet?
All knife is like 400 something, right?
You go from the city to it all.
No, it wasn't singing. It was just a homemaker.
All right, so
Yeah, it's
all night-
$519
all
regularly.
night is $519. We can do it for I'm asking, what do you think we should do it for? $477 would be the highest discount. $388 would be lowest. $438. Let's give her. How do you feel about the customer?
I'd rather just close $400 and have her first promotion. To be honest, doesn't sound like he's ready to pull the trigger. So I'd rather just give him a fire deal and close it.
408.
408.
$90.
That's not the lowest, right?
No, it's not the lowest because
Cool.
I'd rather give them a 5 pay than
Yep.
a 3-month pay.
408. Then what's the 5 pay?
90. Take the cheapest 5 pay we got.
All right, Anjali, check us out. I think we got something for him that he might be excited by. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So the all-night set. This would be a good one just to get his kind of hands wet. You might not get the homemaker set, and I would also let him know too. The cool thing about this set is that it comes in the trays, and they're all pieces that are already in the homemaker. So one day later on down the road, if he wants to pull the trigger on the homemaker, we can just give him the other pieces, and we'll give him an extra tray or a block to store it all in, and then an additional discount on top of that since he's already a preferred Cutco owner. So that's a good way. He was asking about the discount earlier, like, can I save this discount if I don't buy today? If he buys Cutco and becomes a Cutco owner, he'll always be eligible to access like different discounts and things like that in the future. So this would be a great one for him to get started with, and whether that's 2 weeks or 2 years down the road, he can always upgrade. So the all knife set, it comes with some of the most popular tools: the paring knife, the trimmer, the spatula spreader, the petite chef, and the carver, the 9-inch carver. Then it comes in that tray stored in, and a sharpener. So on your prices, if you want to write down $519 on your paper, you said 408 and 90 out of tax. And then give that a little cross there, X that out. 408.
Okay.
And then go ahead and write down 408. 408. Okay. And make sure you get really fired up and excited when you hear this deal. And then the 5 pay is literally only $90. Yeah, exactly. The 5 pay is only $90 a month for 5 months. They could try it out today for $90 and have all the tools in the set and be able to upgrade it. It breaks down to $22 a week, which is like, I don't know, 2 coffees from Starbucks.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna love this deal.
Oh, fire.
I'm gonna start saying that on every single call. Like doing like random shit like
Like $2 box.
Wow.
It's like a pack of jewels.
The only difference is
Pack of pods.
and you
I was gonna say that, but I don't want to say that one. It's like a pack of jewel pods.
$19
You get the ball?
you're gonna get
I don't think that's. Yeah.
Miami Spartans, Homemaker Highline. This is Andrew. Who is this?
my name is Gabriela.
Hey, Gabby. How are you?
Good evening. I'm about to make my first appointment.
Okay.
My first call.
Hell yeah. Perfect. Give me actually 30 seconds here, okay?
Okay.
I'm gonna put you on hold for a quick second. Hey, Angela, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Sorry, I had to put you on hold for a quick second. Did you already run it by him?
Yes, I'm running it by you now.
Okay, cool. Do your thing. I'm gonna put you on hold for 1 minute. So talk to him about it. Figure out if he's gonna go ahead and pull the trigger on that. And let me know if you have any questions, and then we'll go from there. And by the way, if he preferred a deal instead of a discount, we could give him like the super shares for free with it instead of the discount. But I think the discount's pretty fire if he wants to run with that.
Okay.
Cool. I'm gonna put you on hold for 1 minute while I talk to Gabby. Hey, Gabby, there?
Hi.
Cool. I know I got a chance to talk to you last night. Now you're going to your first appointment of the day, right?
Yeah, the day.
Cool. And give me 1 second. Let me just go ahead and pull this up for you. Cool. And this is your is this your 9 a.m.?
Actually, I come here this morning to remind her. I reminded all of my appointments for the day, and a lot of them wanted to switch appointments and times. I guess.
Okay.
Came up.
So one thing you can do if you want to is update them on the Q app and just send us a new photo of the new schedule that you have.
Yeah. Oh, can you just order?
Yeah, good thing is just send us a screenshot of your demos just so we know and we can adjust it in our system.
Oh, okay. So I this number.
To Adrian's probably gonna be the best person to when you switch demos, or your team captain.
Okay, perfect.
Yes,
I'll
ma'am.
do that now then.
And who's this appointment coming up with?
My mom.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. Yeah, we talked about this one last night. You ready to crush it?
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
cool. Hey, by the way, just a random heads up. Yesterday, I didn't get a chance to announce it in training, but you won the recommendation contest, recommending your friends. You recommended the most. So I'm going to shoot me over your Venmo later. I'll send you $50. Yeah. So you have that. Yeah, a little boost there before you get to your first one, too. And you have a good chance of hitting Cancun if you like to travel. So I'll prep you on that later. Don't even worry about that right now. Focus on your own appointments. Go in there, crush it, give us a call at Homemaker Set, and we'll close your first one here.
Okay.
All right.
So my Venmo, I send it to this number or to Adrian?
Send it to me or Adrian. That's fine.
Okay, great.
All right. Yes, ma'am. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, Angela, you there?
Yes, give me 1 second.
Yep. Take your time. Cool. So if I'm on here, I can see all of our appointments for the day, right? We probably need updates from all the 9 a.m.s here.
Yeah, I don't think any of my guys go till later.
Gabriella's about to do it right now. Let's change this to like, I don't even know, 10:30 a.m. But she actually has a 10 a.m. I don't know if this one's with one.
All right, let me help you. I'm gonna call Alex and Natalie. She changed it to 10 a.m.
Cool. Alex, you're calling Alex right now?
Yeah,
Cool.
that's the only person he's out right now.
And then do check from yesterday, by the way. There was a couple of demos last night. So
He had one, and I don't think he did it. I don't think he did it because he didn't call me and I texted him.
okay, well, not just him. I think Lauren Guibu.
I spoke to her. She never called in though. She just texted me, and I just saw it today.
Christopher Clapp.
Didn't call him.
Yeah. So Christopher had 2 demos last night, so he definitely needs to get a call. 2 demos last night. Daniel Gonzalez.
Yeah, he's the one that did it with his mom. He was actually role playing though. Like,
Did he put the order in?
Rick, bro. No, he was role playing.
At least he was role playing pretty good.
No, he wasn't, bro. He didn't know what he was doing. Bro. you just had so many what if scenarios. What if they ask this? What if they ask that? What if they ask this? Like, this is so confusing. Like, I was like, bro, shut up. Do the appointment. Call me if you need help. I was like getting pissed, bro. Like, he was texting me at 3 a.m.
Oh, wow. And then Emily. So it's just Emily and Chris Clapp.
Emily's appointment rescheduled. She spoke to me.
Cool. Just make sure you're updating the labels here. And then we just post the CPO on the appointments when they do it here. Fire. Goal is a 20K day.
Yeah.
20K day, baby. Let's go.
I put 15. I promoted 15K.
15, 15, 38, and then 10K Monday, sure. But I would try to get one of those days.
Wait, what's your goal for?
40K plus. I want to shoot for 50K.
Oh, okay. I thought we were, like, our goal was 30. We were shooting for 40. Because that's what.
No, I'm shooting for 50, dog.
Yeah, no. I mean,
Chris Roman went 7K to 55K in 1 week with 26 people. You know, we launched 28 yesterday.
Oh.
Well,
Yeah.
we're already at 8K. Vera's going to do 10K this weekend. Angela, you there? No, no, cool. Miami Spartans, Homemaker Hotline. This is Andrew. Who's this?
Hi, how's it going? So I just reached the Homemaker with my client. I was seeing if there's anything we can do to possibly hook them up or just get them a little discount.
Yeah, let me see what we can do. Who is this, by the way? All right, David. Perfect. Let me see what we can do here. You said they like the Homemaker set?
Yeah. They like the Homemaker set. They cook for a ton of people at a time. So I think it'll be perfect for them.
All right, sounds good. Let me see if we can hook someone up here. Give me 1 second, all right? All right, David, are you there?
Yeah.
All right, check this out. Now, you're gonna probably want to freak out when I tell you this, okay? You got your price of the Homemaker. Are you doing this appointment in person or is this virtual?
In person.
Okay, gotcha. So go ahead and you have on your paper the 1326.
Here, you know what? Let me write it down.
Yeah. Get a paper if you don't have one. Yeah.
All right. 1326.
Yeah, 1326. And so you're gonna want to cross that out, okay? And you're gonna write down 1092.
1092.
Yeah, and then cross that one out, and then write down 236 and circle it. Okay, so check this out. So instead of 1326 today for the Homemaker Plus 8 set, we can give it to them on the friends and family discount. So it's only 1092 today, which breaks down only 236 today on the 5 pay to test it out, to date it before they marry it. So they can try it out for literally almost a month. Cook with every single day. And they only spend 236 today. They'll get the Homemaker set, so the 7 knives, 2 forks, a spreader block, 8 table knives, and the cutting board and the sharpener as well too. So run that by them and see what they think. It's like basically for the price of a grocery bill, or I don't know, like a night out at Applebee's.
All right, thanks so much, man.
Yeah, cool. Run that by. I'll wait on the line and see what they think, and if you need any extra help, I'll help you from there.
All right, you know what? I'll just call you back if I take you.
All right, perfect. Do your thing. Talk to you in a little bit. All right, bye. Call me back if you have any trouble with it, though, and we'll show the galley. Got it. Bye. Hey, Angela, are you there?
Yeah, she's still thinking about it.
Cool. I'm going to let you go here. Give me a call back once he decides on what he's getting. Do whatever wheeling and dealing. So they have two that you need here. If you need extra help, though, let me know. And remember, again, it's always better to get something small today. So even if we need to get him, like, you know, something even smaller than that, 3 or 4 knives, you know, we'll do that. But obviously, I think the set's going to be a way better value for him. So run that by him, see what he thinks, and we'll touch base in a little bit.
Okay.
All righty. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Bye. Okay, now one thing I probably should have just done is tell him to get a lot of recommendations. That's one thing I'd always have to do on every single call. And what was I saying before David called in?
You were saying like you have to get them to like the right mindset, basically.
Oh, we were talking about mindset, yeah.
So we're building 100%
So-
of the value here. So
Yeah,
you want to make sure you're following the manual word for word here. Second fundamental.
Yeah, one of the big things is just making sure that they have the right mentality going into their presentations. Because if they don't think they're gonna sell Jacoby, they like it's statistically it's really funny. Like if I was like betting, like placing wages or bets on people, like to a 90% accuracy, like almost perfect, I could probably bet on every single person as they finish training. Like as they hop off the virtual or as they leave the office, I'm like I could just probably place bets in the heads, and not because of like thinking like who's a stud, who's gonna crush, who's gonna sell, who's not, who's more talented. I just usually can tell based off of like how they feel going out of the office. People that are like, I don't know if I'm gonna sell. They're like, all right, you know, probably not. People that are like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. It's like, all right, cool. They probably are. You know, so a lot of times just having the right mentality. So encouragement for your first weekend, making people feel good, and just fueling and driving their confidence no matter what. Like even if they had a no sale, it's like, cool. What'd you feel good about? Right? Because reps are like, oh, I did this bad. It's like, no, hey, you got your first one out of the way, man. You know, where would you rate yourself on a scale of, 1 to 10 out of how you felt about this presentation? It's cool. Why'd you say, like you had this last night. He's like, do like a 3. I'm like, nice. I'm like, why'd you say a 3 and not like a 1? He's like, well, because I felt like I did have a good job of like the basics of it. I understood it. We connected well before the call started. And I was like, oh yeah, that's the right thing. It's cool. So we're going to take it up to like a 5 or 6 in the next one. And then for the end of the day, and you just got to coach them on their mentality as you go through it. Vero though, yesterday she sold $3,500 that first order. And I was just like super nonchalant. I was like, I literally told her this. I was like, hey, and Vero, by the way, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. Like, I'll teach you how to sell the cookware and stuff. Like, you haven't told advanced training 1 yet. So, we'll get that next time. And I know she only got 1 flatware chest this time too, but like, I'll show you how to get like 3 or 4 on the next sale. Okay.
Wait, what did she get?
She got a flatware chest and a complete set. And so, and by the way, too, just so you guys know, that appointment, I took it from Adrian's out of his hands because he was, he's like, oh, we're about to sell like a signature complete. And I said, nice, fire. I'm like, who's that with? And she's like, oh, Vera. I'm like, and she was just asking the difference. She's like, hey, what's the difference between like the signature and the complete set? And he said something like, he's like, oh, well, the complete sets, it comes with like the meat and the veggie tools and stuff like that too. She's like, all right, cool. And there was like 20 seconds in, I was like, dude, give me that shit. And I was like, let me sell this. And I didn't have to do anything really. I was like, hey, what can I like cook it? Like, who's this appointment for? I'm like, mom, all right, cool. Like, what kind of cooking do you guys do? You're doing like Latin, this type of stuff. And I'm like, and I wasn't trying to like, by the way, mom. So I'm not trying to seem like I'm trying to sell her like them a lot more. But I was just honestly genuinely like, hey, do you do like? I'm like, if y'all don't, how often do you guys cook in your kitchen? And she's like, like this much, blah blah. And by the way, they have someone that cooks for them. Okay, does most of their cooking for them. So and that's why I sold the flatware too, because I was like, hey, here's the deal. Like, you don't even. The knives are great to have, but like it really is not affecting your food quality. I mean, she's gonna cook them either way too. But like, what do you guys ever have guests over and stuff? I'm like, yeah. So like, you probably want to go in the flatware chest. Originally, when I tried to sell her, by the way, is a complete set with 3 to 4 chests of flatware. I was like, hey, how many people do you have over? Cool, like 30 people. I'm like, cool. So you probably want like 3 chests. And she was like, yeah, they're just gonna get 1 chest or 1 flatware set and the complete set if that's okay. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. We'll go from there too. But it's just like a lot of times it's capitalizing when you can go big. It's just putting out, like that's the thing is when we do it on PDI, we get as managers, we have the law of averages, right? So if I'm a representative and someone buys a homemaker set from me, right, and I go, how many? Most of the time that doesn't really work. There's like what, but every once in a while on a blue moon, if you do that and ask that on every single presentation you do during the summertime, every once in a while, you're gonna get customers like, actually, you know what? I could get one for my friend too, right? And it's like, oh, if you get 3, you get a 4th one free. Like, is there anyone else you could get one for, right? And that happens every once in a while. But on PDI, guys, think about it this way. We have 365 demos right now as an office in front of us in the next 4 days. That's how many demos we have on queue right now. It's 365 demos, okay? So think about that. It's like, as managers, it's like we don't have to do 100 demos as a rep across the summer. It's like if we just ask that question on every single one of those appointments, out of the 365 presentations we had this weekend, someone's bound to be like, yeah, actually, get it. So, and that's the cool thing is like you as managers, if you're asking like the second, third questions, like just kind of throw them out there. It's like, cool. And what about like anytime they're doing a signature complete and it seems like an easy appointment for the first weekend, like a lot of times you don't even remember, like, Adrian did his appointments his first weekend in 20 summers ago. He saw a freaking Leone family. Right. So the complete set, if we would have known that, we probably would have like taken over on that call and been like, yo, there should have been like a 10 grand order minimum, but it's like, that's sometimes who reps have appointments with their first weekend. They're seeing like, they might have appointments where they could go big on them, and they're just like, they'll sell signature complete. And we are like, all right, yeah. They got a signature sale, a complete set sale, but it's like, if we would have been there, we would have been dropping 10 grand, 15 grand on that appointment, so it's like going big when you can go big is like a big part of like that stuff. And then the last thing too is like how you guys just saw with this stuff is sometimes I'll give them a deal. Like I would rather them just kind of get some sales underneath their belt. Like, even if it's smaller, like it's going to improve their confidence more, and I'm like, hey, even if we have to take a hit in the CPO, I'll explain to them on Monday, like, hey, you sold a lot and gave away too much free stuff. Let's not do that anymore. But okay. I'd rather them have some sales so they know like, hey, I'm selling, I'm doing well at the job. I'm feeling good about it,
So do these guys have like the 2 different options when they're dropping down from the homemaker, like the 2 like either like the script they're supposed to say like when they reach the homemaker?
I mean like 2 different options. Oh, the hey, definitely getting or considering, but
yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so they said yes. So hey, they're getting the homemaker set. So is there anything else we could do for them? And that's like them saying basically like, they already got a yes in the homemaker, so we're supposed to help them now sell the signature complete or up extra upsell. And then if they say they're considering, but that means like they're on edge or they're not considering really, but whatever it is, it just means they didn't say yes, essentially. And then we'll give them a deal, drop down from there. But we teach them that in training. Like half the people pull it off, like no matter how many times I teach it, like some people they're like, hey, I'm with my customer and they're definitely considering the homemaker. It's like, what? But.
I really don't. It's not like he just woke up.
Did he just forget his appointments, reschedule them, or do you think he's trying to like cheat the system?
I don't think he's trying to cheat the system. I think he was just scared to tell me that he didn't do it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would just tell him like, hey, dude, if you have need a flexible, need to work around, that's so fine.
Sean.
Miami Spartans Homemaker Hotline. This is Andrew. Who's this?
This is Sean speaking.
Hey, Sean. How's it going, man?
It's going great. So I have a customer on the line. And
Yep.
They are definitely getting the homemaker +8.
Cool, man. Nice work. So you got that homemaker set there. And did you show them the signature or complete set yet?
Excuse me?
Did you show them the next set on the slide on the set options, like the signature or complete set?
No, I'm not.
Cool. We actually have a special running on those right now. So what I would do is, and who's this appointment for, by the way?
For my grandparents.
Oh, okay, cool, perfect. How old are your grandparents?
I believe that early 70s.
Okay, cool. Do they cook a lot now, or are they kind of like downsizing?
Oh, yes, they love to cook.
Okay, cool.
That's their thing.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was gonna say. I was like, if they're downsizing, then they might want to just like kind of stay with the homemaker. But if they do cook a lot, Signature's my favorite set. If they like, that's the most popular one. Complete set's the one that like people like who just love to cook. Like it's like a hobby and it's really fun for them. So show them those 2 sets real quickly. The signature set comes with the 3 most popular customer tools and the super shears. Right now we have a special with either with the signature set, they can get the entertainer pack for free and the barbecue tools. And with the complete set, they can actually get both the entertainer pack, the barbecue tools, and like their choice of like something else, like a engraved pocket knife, or like I don't know if they do any. I don't know if your grandpa's into any like the military stuff or things like that too. But yeah, cool. All right, there we go. Well, we'll come up with the barbecue tools and the entertainer pack with either one of those two set options. So I would go ahead and walk them through those ones. And worst case scenario, sell a homemaker. But if they love to cook, those are two really, really good options. So run those by them and let me know what they end up getting, okay?
All right, got it.
Cool. And then just make sure you get a bunch of recommendations. Talk to you in a bit. Nice work, Sean.
Got it.
All right, bye.
Hey.
Nice.
So, cool. There's another homemaker. What were you saying?
What are we at?
For the first weekend or just in general?
In general.
We came into the day at like $8,000 in sales, so I think that's like the first sale of the morning, technically speaking.
What up? What happened with Jelly?
I think she's closing. I mean, we're like we started the day at like $8,000. Most of our sales are just starting, so like that will be $9,000. I think there's a couple other sales that are about to happen. We could go back and forth with a couple people for a bit. Gabby just hopped into her. Most people just started their appointments. A lot of them, the early ones, got canceled, which they always do on Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. Oh man. And then I have I'm just updating. Sure, as we go here. Alyssa, you have an 11 a.m. demo? Go crush it. Getting that $1,000 drawing. Wait, did you sell Monday night or was it Tuesday? Are you on the sales report for this week or was that last week?
I'm on the sales report for this week as well.
Okay, cool. So you're close to $1,000 already, right?
I think so. I don't know. I actually have no clue.
Guess where I had it. For everybody let's make sure we're hitting that $1,000 mark for the week, and then getting people into that contest. It's just a ridiculous contest. Where is it? So you have something this week. I think you put some in. No, it's Monday night, and then I think you had a couple that trickled in like last second on Tuesday and so too. So you still got to get to $1,000 a week, but we're well in there. So we're sitting at like $8,000 after this order. We're like $9,000. The goal is $50,000 though for the week. That's why I'm trying to shoot for here right now. So I think it's really usually you'll have one today's a bigger day than another, Saturday or Sunday. Sometimes it just depends how they line up their appointments. But I'm thinking today will probably be the bigger day, if anything. So Saturday, I think today we should be shooting for a $20,000 day. Tomorrow $15,000 and Monday $10,000. You know. So Miami Spartans Homemaker Hotline. This is Andrew. What's up, Brian Holman? What'd you say? Recording. What up, baby? Yeah, let me. I'm gonna mute myself from this live PDI call here for a quick second. I got my staff watching me take PDI on Zoom. 1 second.
Yeah, so remember, we wouldn't be able to do like the most expensive item for free. I'll probably be able to like, I mean, if you told me what the fourth thing that they wanted to get for free, I can work out a deal for you where they're getting like a great deal here. So just I'll stay on the line, see what else they were interested in here, and then let me work out a deal for you. Yeah.
Andrew, I'm gonna listen to your next PDI call, and then I'm gonna go eat breakfast.
Cool. You're good, man. This is bonus. Thanks for making time to go out of the way and
Homemaker hotline is David.
get
What's
this.
going on?
I do this a couple times, but it definitely just hearing PDI happen is a lot easier to learn than like.
No, it is. I mean, I definitely like picked up like on a couple like key things that just helped me. Like even from like yesterday, like like I called one of the guys yesterday.
You're good.
So what was
You were saying what? You were calling who?
Yeah, I know that like one of the guys called me yesterday, Ricky Diaz or something, and he was like, oh, like like if I like asked him like how he felt, and like let's go 1 to 10. He was like, oh, like it was a 7 because like they complimented me on like the presentation and everything, but like they weren't looking for anything today. I was like, oh, like next time, whatever. Like, he didn't even get any recommendations out of it. I was like, he said something like, oh, like she wanted to text everyone first before like I gave everyone the numbers. I was like, dude.
You're like, yeah, no. But yeah, I learned that one too. She's not gonna get it.
Yeah, and I know. I just don't know what this, because obviously it's like my first time. Like I'm not gonna just say, dude, you're an idiot.
Yeah, and that's why you kind of want to do this. So it's a fine line between encouraging and then also being like real with them, and that's why I'm kind of like, hey, like when I hear something that's like, all right, hey man, like, mind if I challenge you for a second, right? Or like challenge them. So sometimes what's going to happen is these representatives, what happens is they get, it's all sell or be sold. You're either doing the selling or you're the one being sold. So guess what? They go through training, they get sold by me and Mike, and they're like, all right, cool, yeah, I'm going to go sell. And they get to the first appointment and they're like, all right, no one can afford this. They get sold right by their customer, and they believe whatever the customer tells them. So it's like it's a total, like, you don't want them to ever feel bad about having a no sale or like feel bad about the customer didn't buy or something like that too. But also if they like are like, well, like even last night I had a girl that was like Gabby. She literally did a presentation with someone, Mac customer, and she showed her everything, and the lady said, just, hey, we can't afford it, blah, blah. Her husband literally has coronavirus and is in the hospital. And she's got 4 kids, and so what I was pointing out to her on that call, I was like, hey, Gabby, don't beat yourself up about it. Like, this is like, a tough, it's like kind of a weird situation. Her husband has corona. That's not really typical, but like and the biggest thing, by the way, Gabby, too, is not that, let's be real for a second. Like, obviously her husband having corona or her being like stressed out, like that doesn't, like, she could have afforded something if she wanted to, right? And she's like, yeah, probably. And it's like, yeah. So it wasn't that she really couldn't afford it, but she's also just in a stressful situation. It's hard for someone to make an investment purchase when like there's chaos going on in their life and so that too. So don't beat yourself up about that one too, right? But also just for people too, you just want to make sure you're like kind of auditing the mentality so they're not getting like too stuck on like, oh yeah, you're right, they really couldn't afford it. And like agree, like not agreeing with their customer, but like also not beating themselves up because it doesn't matter. They still did a good job of the presentation. What were you saying?
Yeah, I feel that.
David needs a call. I don't know on the other line, he's not there.
Oh, David?
Trying to get him on a 5 3 get 1 free. They were interested in entertainment bag and a pocket knife. And they want to see what I can
David?
do. Yeah.
He's still a homemaker.
David.
No, that's Sean. Oh. Who's this? Is this David? 972?
972 is probably the one. David is 305 972 1666.
That's what I just asked you. He said no. Yeah, so that's the one he just called. Called David back?
Yeah, call David.
What was he selling before? What was I closing with David earlier? Oh. Hey, David.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going? I'm just giving you a ring back here.
All right, so I'm with my customers. They've agreed on the entertainment pack and the pocket knife.
Cool.
So I was just asking, how do I put it in online again?
So don't do that. You're going to go to vectorconnect.com, And then once you log into the website, you just go to the top left-hand corner where it says Rolo orders, and then enter it there, dude. It's pretty much like putting something in on Amazon or anything like that. You have the price list in front of you?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so it has the item numbers right there. The entertainer pack is probably under the gift sets, and then the if you want the item number, it's 1838 is the entertainer pack. To enter in, and there's no color because they're all black handles. But you just enter it in online, fill out the order, payment information, and it should be pretty straightforward. And then later on, I would recommend downloading the Cutco Orders app because it makes it way easier. And then have you already asked for recommendations or no?
No, we're
okay. Perfect. Cool. So what I would do is you want to ask for recommendations now, and then go ahead and you're writing the order online while they're helping you with recommendations.
All right. So Vector Connect is asking me for checkings or savings account. I don't have one right now.
Yeah. So just you're with the customer right now. Just skip all that stuff. You can always come back to it later. Just say, hey, no, I don't have a bank account, and you can come back later.
Okay. So Rolo orders and enter orders. All right. Thank you so much for that.
Yes, sir. Go ahead and get a lot of recommendations. We'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Bye. Cool. Then a safe close here.
My appointment rescheduled, so.
Damn.
Rescheduled for 2:30. So.
Okay. Cool. I'm probably gonna I have a call. Potential.
How long is Xavier? What's going on, Sean?
11:30. Yeah. So I'll probably be able to do about another 10 to 15 more minutes, and then I'm gonna wrap things up here on the call. We'll still do PDI. Unless I just have the other calls to hop on too. So if you want to hop on like a Zoom with Adrian, maybe you guys can do that. Still, I think it's still good to like have once we like probably in about a week or two, the next, and this is what I like to do just in May, right? So and just again, I'll keep saying this, but schedules can be crazy until right around when everyone gets out of classes in school. It's the spring to summer transition. That's always like the April to May funky time where we still are running late ass training. Like think about it. We assume we won't be running trainings at 8 o'clock on a Friday night. So all those duplicates, it's like stuff we're doing during the day and all that other stuff, not like until 1 a.m. in the middle of the night. Doing stuff, PDI the next day, it's a lot. Same thing, but during this time period, I'll do extra stuff like Friday night and Saturday night workshops just to kind of get good people going. I'm not even going to take PDI calls this summer. I'm just adding myself so people can just see and hear, and we're getting immersed now. And once the schedules shift back, then everyone's on the normal schedules where it's just like, not a lot of extra stuff, extra calls, huddles in the mornings, like all the stuff we have going on right now. This is just trying to make it easier, especially with everyone not being physically in the office as much more. All these little Zoom calls kind of help just kind of keep everyone in the loop with what's going on. So
you want to go over the really quick? Awesome. All right. So I guess my first question here. So it's your first one. On a scale from like 1 to 10, 10 being like you absolutely crushed it, 1 being like you didn't know what you were doing, where would you rate yourself on the appointment?
I would give myself like a 7 because it did take long trying to find prices for you how much you wanted.
Well, Bridget, hell yeah. Why would you say a 7 and not like a 4 or 5?
Well, because I felt really confident in it. Whenever she would ask me something, I knew that natural mind that you guys told us about, and I would explain what you guys
Nice. Nice. Yeah. So you went to like the product. Sorry to cut you off. I was just saying you hit control find on like product details and you were able to like explain everything.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, then you can continue. Gotcha. Okay, so we'll do some tips here in the end. But by the way, whenever you have like a question on like anything with product prices, if you're having like a hard time finding it, you can always give me a call, and I can help you out. Because obviously, like your first time like looking through the price list, it might take you a little bit, because like you probably don't know where everything is yet. But I'll be able to help you out if you're like having difficulties with that at any point. But nice work. So you got your first round out of the way. You feel good, right? And then let's just, you want to run through the fundamentals, like the keys here for the appointment. All right, let's do it. So I guess my first question here, let's go over the first fundamental, which is following the manual word for word, right? So on a scale here, same idea, 1 to 10, where would you say you're at with following the manual? Oh, so like a 10? Oh yeah, nice work. That's exactly what you want to do, Bridget. Keep doing that. When you follow the manual word for word, do you know what you're building 100% of? Confident? Well, yeah, you got the confidence too, but like more specifically, like what you're building to the customer is the value of Kaka. So keep doing that, because remember, when we're at like 100% of value, and the price is at like a 20-30%, are we making the sale then? Every single time, right? So that's fundamental number 1. You crushed that one. Now let's do fundamental 2 here, which is enthusiasm, having fun. Where would you say your enthusiasm level was?
I give it
8? 8, that's a super solid start. All right, nice work. Okay, so as far as like enthusiasm, remember when you're at an 8, where's your customer usually at? Okay, so that's the problem, Bridget. So sometimes, well, most of the time, your customer is just going to give you a little bit less excitement than what you give her. So let's say you're at like an 8, your customer is going to be at like a 6 or 7, which is still pretty solid. I mean, that's like a 50-50. But put it this way, like where do you think you want to be if you want your customer at like a 9 or 10? Yeah, like a 12 here. And Bridget, like the way you know if you're doing a good job is when your customer's looking at you and like wondering why is Bridget so excited about these damn apps, right? Like if you're like awkwardly excited, then you're doing a great job, right? So kind of bringing that up. I know it's like your first one. 8's a solid number to start off at, and then we'll just continue increasing that until we get to like 11 and 12 here in excitement. Alrighty, okay, and then I guess the last one I have here, well, fundamental number 3 is going to be calling the what? The office?
Yeah, after midnight.
Yes, so during the appointment, do you know when you're specifically, like what part of the presentation you're supposed to call in from?
Yes.
Okay, so when you want to call in, is right after you ask if they want to get the homemaker set today, right? So remember when Andrew was walking through that, it's like the 1 to 2 phrases you're gonna say. It's like, hey, I'm with my lovely customer, Mrs. Jones, and she's definitely getting the homemaker set. Or, hey, Adrian, I'm with my lovely customer, and they were considering the homemaker set, but it was just either too much for the budget or too many pieces, right? Do you remember that in training, or is this new info?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, awesome. And by the way, it's your first one. I'm not. It's all good. We're just gonna fix that for the next one. That way I can help you close like some deals here. And then last thing here. I mean, when's the next appointment at? 11:30. Okay, and who's that one with? It's coming up pretty soon. Nice. Okay, this one's with Dad. Awesome. Does so tell me a little bit about Dad. Is he a Mac customer, married, 3065, homeowner?
AC. He's not married, but
Okay, so AC, got it. So he's 3065 and he owns a home. Nice. Does Dad like to cook? He likes to cook, and obviously he has kids, right? So I mean, sounds like he does a lot of cooking there. What do you think? Awesome. All right, and then well, I mean, I don't know about you, but it sounds like your first homemaker set there. What do you think? That's what I meant to say. What do you think? All right, so Bridget, remember, expectation creates reality, right? So let's change that one time, and instead of saying I hope, tell me that you're going to sell it, right? So what are we going to sell here, Bridget? Yes, ma'am. All right. Do everything you were doing on this last appointment, and call me right when we get to the homemaker, and you'll see how we'll close off. We'll help you out, give you some sweet discounts for Dad here.
So once I bring all of this stuff out, I don't know how to do I offer anything or not?
So, gotcha. Yeah. So when you're putting in the order, I'll help you out. You're gonna give her the veggie peeler for free. You're gonna bonus it. You'll hit bonus on the checkbox, and it'll give it to her for free. Alrighty.
Sounds good. I have someone on the other line here, but crush that one. I'll talk to you from the next one. No problem. Bye. Homemaker Hotline. This is Adrian. What's going on, David?
Hey man, so I'm on Vector Connect. I'm putting in the order.
All right, Andrew, I'm gonna take off here.
Hey, one tip that I'm gonna give. Yeah, I'm gonna explain this to Adrian here in a second based on his call. So one thing that he just did, good and bad. So there's like the different levels, right? I think that was like stage one of like, hey, you're just getting them like, cool, what are you gonna sell the next one, homemaker? But you could also notice hear her voice that she's like, homemaker set. Like she was kind of like, she wasn't actually like, yeah, I'm gonna go sell a homemaker. She was saying that because cool, yeah, I'll play around with the training, but she doesn't actually believe she's gonna sell a homemaker set at appointment. Or maybe she does, she just wasn't really like that excited. So I think that's an opportunity as you get better skilled at PDI to be able to say something like, it's like, rather than trying to kind of like just, and if I'm going through it fast, right, that's what I'm doing. Like, cool, awesome, talking to the next one, not spending too much time on it. But that could be an opportunity where you could spend a little more time diving in and just being like, and like, rather than kind of telling them, hey, so what are you going to do? It's like ask them, like asking questions. Cool. It's like, hey, why wouldn't they buy a homemaker set? What is there anything that you're nervous about? Cool. What is the expectations? Cool. Tell me a little about the customer. It's like, yeah, it's like they're doing this. Like like he said, he's like, so you have a cook, so they cook a lot, right? It's like, well, I mean, that does not necessarily, right? So you have kids. It's like, hey, so like, how much do they cook, right? 3 to 4 times. It's like, hey, if they cook 4 to 5 times a week, like, what set do you think is probably gonna be like the best set for them? Because again, it's the different things. And unless it's not on the call, but I'm recording this. But if you tell someone something, right, versus if they come to that decision by themselves, that's completely different. And that's the whole thing of like, hey, don't try to sell the rep. Tell them all the good words to say the customer to sell the deal. Just sell them mentally on it. Because if they're sold mentally on it, they're going to sell the customer on it. They're going to do a better job. If someone thinks they came to their own decision, right, and like you're rather than telling someone something, you're asking them through questions, and they're like, yeah, you're right. The galley set probably is the best set for them. Cool. That's them versus like, hey, my manager told me I need to sell the galley set. And I got to go push this on my family and friends because my manager told me I have to. Versus when they're like, yeah, you're right. That probably is what I should do. I'm going to go do that. That's probably the best one. They're coming to their own decisions and having their own thoughts versus you just being like the promotion machine. And I think that's step one. Step one is just like know what the right things are to promote, right? Step two is like, rather than just like telling the rep, help them come to that place in their own decisions and stuff too. So, yeah. All right, man. Thanks for hopping on here this morning.
All right, of course. Let's see that, Andrew. Peace.
Alyssa, did you catch that on the tail end? I think you were on a call, but I was just giving Adrian some feedback on that call. You're muted.
Sorry, I didn't hear anything.
You didn't hear anything? I think you're muted again.
I was talking to Ivan.
Oh, okay, you're good. Essentially what I said is, did you hear Adrian's coaching call? Okay, so here's the feedback that I would have given in that situation scenario is he's hitting the right points, right? But did you listen and did you hear her voice? How she was kind of like, he's like, so we're gonna sell the next one, like homemaker set.
Like,
yeah, exactly. So and I think if you're short on time, that's the fast version of it. But that could have been an opportunity to dive in a little bit more. So it's one thing when you're like telling the rep how to think. It's another thing when you're kind of helping them shape their thinking. They're actually changing their thinking versus you just telling them, this is what you want to think. This is what you should sell. This is what you're going to do. Right. And kind of like there's assumptions. And again, I think that's stage one. That's better than like he's still hitting the right points. But I think the area of opportunity there would be like, she kind of said, it's like not having the fake confidence, like really being real. It's like, hey, well, honestly, you don't sound too confident that you're actually gonna sell that. It's like, so what are you nervous about? Right? Like, hey, what are you like worried about with the person? Well, just X, Y, Z. So you can actually help them too. It's just like having an objection, right? If you're just kind of plowing through it and not actually handling the real objection, then it's still lingering there. So, and I can say like, again, it's a lot better when the representative gets to a place where they're like, if I tell them, all right, cool, man, go sell the galley, it's the best set for the customer, it's the best value, you're going to do this, crush it. They're like, great. That's great. But you're like, when you just spit information at them, you're hoping that they're going to take all the stuff that you're saying that's great sales and regurgitate it to the customer. They don't ever. Okay. So the best thing is if you can get them mentally sold on it, they're going to do a better job at selling it to their rep. It's like you sell them on the deal, like don't explain them how to sell the deal, the words that they're going to say to do it. Just get them excited about it. You just sell them, and that's what you have to write down the paper and make sure they're doing it the right way so that it's easier for them to just talk about it to the customer. It's the same way also, not just on a deal, but also like if they're doing mentality, like even if they're not going to homemaker set, it's like, cool, well, what set can we sell them? You know, what set's going to make sense for them? I had a call earlier with David, and he was just like, yeah, you know, maybe not a set, but maybe like some table knives. And I was just like, hey, dude, but this is grandma, you know, so I want to let you know, anytime they get Cutco, like she's going to get a good value, but she doesn't get a good set, man. She's not going to get a good deal. So I just walked her through the money. I'm like, hey, just so you know, like, here's how the money works. Like a set of table knives is going to cost like $180. Dude, I don't, even if it's not a homemaker set, like the studio set comes with 4 table knives. It's like $400, right? It's like double the price, but you literally get 4 table knives, actually 4 kitchen tools, the block, a custom board, and we can get the super shears for free. I'm like, so like, dude, she can buy anything she wants, but like, just know, like for like grandma, people like that, like it's gonna be better for them to get a set, you know? So, and it's like when they get to that place, so when you're like, so what set do you think would be best for them, right? Or like how much, like rather than like, all right, so they cook a lot, right? Cool, but like, they're gonna cook a ton. That means they're gonna get a homemaker set for sure. It's like, all right, cool. How many times do they cook? So, you know, Ashley or, you know, so Alyssa, if they cook 4 to 5 times a week, right? Like what set are you thinking for that type of person, right? And that just allows me to adjust. They're like, probably like the galley set. All right, it's like, cool. Like why would the galley set? Cool, or whatever the case is. So you can adjust it if you need to, but it's a lot better if they come to the decision of like, rather than, all right, so we're gonna go ahead and sell a homemaker set. Yeah, all right, cool. Go talk to, go crush it. It's like, hey, like, yeah, like even if it's whatever, but if they come to their own decision, right, it's easier for them to get that across to the customers, because it's like their thoughts, not like, hey, my manager told me I have to sell a galley set. You know, it's like, hey, like I think the galley set, Miss Jones, is probably the best one for you.
And
Yeah.
how to walk me through how you would say, like, let's say I call you and it's like, oh, the homemaker, they love it. It's just that it's a little too much out of their budget, but I think this is like the best set for them, or something like that. Like that you have to like convince them.
Reword that. So what's the scenario exactly?
So a scenario that like you have to pretty much convince them, the rep, on why that's the best set for them.
Are they in the appointment or is it before the appointment starts?
Which one's better? I don't know.
Okay, so in that example, let's say that the representative's like, yeah, I'm just not sure if they would need all, like, so that's a good point, is right. I'm not trying to just get them to every single rep to sell a homemaker no matter what, you know, blah, blah, get the right mentality. I'm going to like just genuinely audit it, you know? So it's like, you know, and ask them like if there's anything like holding them back. So if they, I'm going to ask them how much they cook and stuff like that too, like, and get a good idea of like what set's the right set for them. And then afterwards, like for instance, if they cook 4 to 5 times a week and they say something like, hey, the homemaker set's too many knives, that's probably a chance where like, hey, cool. Like I totally understand that. I'm like, hey, Brianna, you cool if I challenge you for a quick second? It's like, all right, cool. I want to take a quick second to challenge your mentality, because to be honest, when I first started, like I did the same thing. I didn't even sell us out on the job for the first 2 weeks, because I was like, how the hell does anyone need this many knives? And that was also coming from the person, dude, that has never cooked a day in his life. Okay. And that's where my head was at. Right. But for a mom, okay, it only comes like the homemaker set. It doesn't have any variety. Like it has one of every tool. You have one veggie chopper. I know maybe you cook, Ashley, not like a ton. So, you know, think about it. Like you're making a soup, like anything, chopping vegetables. That's something a mom does most dinners she's going to cook. There's only one chef veggie chopper in the set. Okay. She cooks 2 or 3 times a week. She's going to be good with that, Ashley. She's not going to have to worry about much. But if you're cooking, you know, 4, 5, 6 times a week, I mean, you need that at the bare minimum, right? Right. So, let me go. He's got another one. So, you know, I would assume kind of like a mentality out of it, or what's holding them back, or it's like, oh, well, you know, it's not that I don't think the set would be good for them. I just don't think they're gonna be able to afford it. It's like, all right, cool. You know, like, so that's like a different conversation, right? So it's like, all right, it's like, yeah, why do you think they can't afford it? Well, they're in a tough situation. Initially, I was like, all right, cool, I hear you. You know, in coronavirus, whatever's going on, right? And they say something like, oh, they got laid off and they lost their job. Then I'm like, all right, yeah, you shouldn't do that appointment. That's not a qualified customer. Like, you're right, don't do that appointment. They don't have a job. But it's like, but if they're like, oh, they're just in a tough spot, you know, whatever, you know, and then I'm like, oh, let me just ask you, like, you know, is she married? Cool. Are they middle aged? yeah, do they live in a home?
Awesome. Hell yeah, man. Why did you say like a
And it's
7
like,
and not
yeah,
a 4
like
or 5?
they have kids. You know, I'm just asking them questions like these and stuff too. And I'm like, what does she do for a living? She's an accountant, or her husband's in sales. They do this. And I'm like, yeah, actually, I'm like, look, the reality is, okay. I'm like, do you know how much a homemaker set is? How much they have to put on the credit card to get it? Try it out for the first 5 months. It's like $286. I'm like, y'all know how much? You know how much they pay for cable television and their Netflix and Hulu packages? Probably $200 a month. You know, and they don't pay for that 5 times and then have it for the rest of their life. They pay for it every month for the rest of their lives, over and over. And I can just give any type of financial example at all that's like, hey, look, like, are they going to be able to, like, is this family struggling so bad, like they're not going to be able to put gas in their car this week? You know, so it's just really, it's just an example. Alyssa is like, it depends on the conversation, but you're just trying to get to this, like, where's their mentality at? You know, and it might just be, you know, and by the way, if this was a longer conversation, it might transition into, like, they just don't think the knives are worth that much. Well, it's not about them. They have the money. It's just, I don't know if they would spend that much money on knives. Cool. So, and by the way, if this conversation went this way, yeah, you're getting multiple guns. Go ahead.
Hey, Andrew.
So my representative is calling.
Ivan wants to know if. Oh wait.
My bad.
No, you're good. So, Ivan wants to know if his customer gets she's getting the buy 3 get 1 free, and it hits the 127 mark or something like that. He wants to know if he also gets the ice cream scooper and the other thing. Well,
It's just the buy 3 get 1 free. So I think you can't do extra free stuff on top of that usually because it's already like. Sometimes you could, depending if the 3 things were really big and the one thing that we're getting for free is like a gadget. But if it's like buy 3 knives get 1 knife free, then it's just that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If you need help, Alyssa, like if he's not going to close it, you could maybe potentially add on like, hey, you buy 1 gadget get 1 free on top of it. By the way, that will wreck the CPO, but like they could add on an extra ice cream scoop to the order and then get a veggie peeler for free or something small like that maybe. But for the most part, it's just gonna be buy 3 1 get 3 free. Hey, Alyssa, I'm gonna go ahead and stop this recording. Maybe Adrian, can you get your Zoom up? Or or I can.
I'm gonna hop on the Zoom.
Cool. I'll stop this recording.